Anna shook with fear as Jeff walked menacingly toward her. She tightened her hold around the baby, sleeping peacefully in her arms. Tears streamed down her face as dread filled the pit of her stomach. "Who's the father of that thing?" Jeff bellowed as he drew closer, his eyes blazing with fury. Paralyzed with fear, Anna only whimpered, unable to form words. "Answer me!" he roared, slamming his fist against the wall beside her bed. The sudden impact made her jerk in terror. Jeff groaned in anger, his fists clenched so tightly his knuckles turned white as he glared at her. Without another word, he stormed out of the hospital room. Anna's tears fell silently as she watched her husband leave. She looked down at the beautiful baby boy sleeping calmly in her arms. Her heart ached with pity that he would be welcomed into the world with such hostility. Yet, she couldn't fathom how their baby had been born black when both she and Jeff were white. Even the medical staff had no explanation. They had only suggested various tests, including DNA testing, to provide the answers they desperately needed. 5 days later, Anna was discharged from the hospital. Throughout her stay, Jeff never called or visited to check on her or their newborn son. She was devastated by his absence. What had happened to all the vows they had made to be there for each other, no matter what? Still, she understood his shock. If she were in his position, she would have been confused and angry too. But abandoning her at the hospital crossed a line. It showed he had lost trust in her completely. Even with his doubts, they could have pursued a DNA test together rather than him assuming the worst. When she finally arrived home, Jeff greeted her with a cold, bloodshot stare as their eyes met. Without a word, he turned and walked into the guest room, closing the door firmly behind him. Anna sighed heavily. After feeding her baby and ensuring he was asleep, she decided to confront her husband. Jeff looked up in shock when she entered the guest room. "What do you want?" he snapped, clearly angry that she had the audacity to approach him. Anna remained silent until she stood directly before him. She spoke softly, reminding him of their early days together and the promises they had made. She questioned how he could harbor such doubt and abandon her when she needed him most. With tears flowing freely, she swore she had never been unfaithful and suggested they get a DNA test if he still doubted her. Jeff responded with a sarcastic laugh. "I'm not wasting money on a DNA test to prove what's already obvious. You've been unfaithful with a black man. Take your bastard and go find your lover. Otherwise, I'll make this house unbearable for both of you." He pushed her toward the door and ordered her to pack her things and leave before he did something they would both regret. Then he slammed the door in her face. Anna collapsed against the door, weeping bitterly. She pounded on it, begging Jeff to believe her, but he remained unmoved. The only response she received was a repeated demand that she leave his home. When she finally exhausted herself from pleading with someone who refused to listen, Anna returned to her room. She decided to give him space, understanding that his anger was volatile, and she didn't want to become its victim. Perhaps with time, he might think more clearly. She called her sister, explained everything, and that night, her sister drove to Anna's apartment and helped her pack essential items for herself and the baby. As Anna entered the car with her son, she looked back, hoping against hope that Jeff would appear and ask them to stay. But the house remained still and dark. "It will be all right," her sister assured her, though Anna wasn't convinced. A few days later, Anna woke to discover that all the money in the joint account she shared with Jeff had been withdrawn. Stunned, her heart raced as she checked the balance repeatedly, unable to believe what she was seeing. This time, consequences be damned, she decided to confront Jeff directly. This was beyond cruel. She quickly dressed and rushed to their home, only to discover something even worse. The house was completely empty. All of Jeff's belongings were gone, and so were all of hers and the baby's things that she hadn't taken with her. Why was Jeff doing this to her? Why would he hurt her so deeply based on an accusation he refused to verify? Did he simply enjoy causing her pain? Hours passed before Anna finally noticed a piece of paper taped to the wall. It was a note from Jeff. Her heart pounded violently as she read his final words to her. "My dear Anna, I cannot believe you would betray my trust so completely. I cannot imagine a life with you and that bastard child. So I think it's better we call it quits. Please don't try to reach me. You'll be hearing from my lawyer soon." Anna's eyes widened as the full implication hit her. She screamed in anguish, collapsing to the floor in tears. She tried calling Jeff, but his phone was switched off. She suspected he had blocked her number. Through tears, she called her sister, who had to make an excuse to leave work to comfort her. 2 weeks later, Jeff's lawyers delivered divorce papers. Exhausted from crying and recognizing that any effort to save her marriage would be futile, Anna signed without argument. The pain was unbearable, but she had lost the strength to fight. Her sister continued to support her, insisting that Jeff never deserved her and that she was better off without him. Though these words provided little comfort, Anna was grateful for her sister's presence, which helped her avoid slipping into depression. Despite the circumstances surrounding his birth, Anna never blamed her baby for her misfortunes. Each time she looked at him, she felt nothing but love and gratitude. She named him Jaden and was determined to raise him with all the love in her heart, considering him entirely innocent of the trauma she was experiencing. When her maternity leave ended, Anna returned to work, taking Jaden to daycare each morning. But the emotional turmoil had affected her performance. Once efficient and cheerful, she became moody and withdrawn. Tasks that had once been simple now seemed overwhelming. After several weeks, her supervisor, Pedro Williams, called her into his office. He asked what was troubling her, as she was no longer the vibrant employee he had come to know and respect. At first, Anna insisted nothing was wrong and apologized for her declining performance. But as Pedro persisted with genuine concern, she broke down, revealing the state of her marriage and the circumstances of Jaden's birth. Pedro listened with compassion. He assured her that, somehow, everything would make sense in the end. He embraced her, allowing her to cry on his shoulder as he gently patted her back. As one of his most valued employees, it pained him to see someone so dedicated suffering so unfairly. He decided to help her heal. During breaks, Pedro would invite her to lunch. Initially hesitant, Anna eventually accepted his invitations. Over time, their casual lunches built a foundation of trust between them. On weekends, Pedro visited Anna and Jaden to check on their well-being. Sometimes, if he had free time, he would take them out to see a movie, enjoy a park, visit the beach, or dine at a nice restaurant. Other times, he simply drove them around to appreciate nature, knowing Anna rarely left home after work, preferring to isolate herself with her sorrow. After several months, Anna began to heal. She gradually returned to being the cheerful, efficient person she had always been. She was deeply grateful to Pedro for helping her overcome the pain of her failed marriage. Pedro continued his visits, having established a comfortable routine that felt natural to both of them. A year later, something unexpected happened. Feelings began to develop between them. Pedro, a widower who had lost his wife during childbirth, along with their stillborn child, had experienced his own profound grief. Perhaps that was why he had empathized so deeply with Anna's pain. His own healing had taken a full year, and he had given up on ever finding love again. Now, he realized he felt something for Anna that he had never anticipated. What had begun as a platonic desire to help had evolved into deeper affection. He wanted more than friendship. So, one weekend, he asked if they could take their relationship to another level and expressed his feelings for her. Anna was surprised. She had begun to admire him beyond their professional relationship and friendship, but hadn't expected him to feel the same. Unfortunately, although she had healed from the trauma of Jeff's betrayal, a part of her still loved him. She couldn't commit herself to someone new, so she politely declined Pedro's request. Though deeply hurt, Pedro didn't give up. He remained present in her life, continuing to show how much he cared for both her and Jaden. Anna appreciated his kindness, and they maintained their friendship. One day, while cooking in the kitchen, Anna heard Jaden scream from the living room. Alarmed, she rushed to check on him without paying attention to her surroundings. In her haste, she knocked over a pot of boiling sauce, which spilled across her legs. She screamed in agony as the scalding liquid burned her flesh. Jaden ran into the kitchen and began crying when he saw his mother in pain. Too young to help, his confusion manifested as tears. Despite her suffering, Anna knew she had to be strong for her son. She managed to reach her phone while comforting Jaden. Her sister was away on a business trip, so the only person she could call was Pedro. She asked if he could take her to the hospital, and he immediately agreed. While waiting for him to arrive, she applied first aid to her burns. At the hospital, Anna was admitted for proper treatment. Concerned about Jaden's welfare with her sister unavailable, she worried about who would care for him. Without her even asking, Pedro volunteered to look after Jaden while she recovered. Anna couldn't express her gratitude enough. Pedro proved to be a loving caretaker, attending to Jaden with patience and affection. He ensured the boy's needs were met and, after work each day, would bring Jaden to visit Anna in the hospital. During these visits, Anna noticed how happy Jaden seemed with Pedro. She had worried that her son would be uncomfortable staying with someone other than herself or her sister, but she was amazed to see how naturally Pedro and Jaden connected. She even overheard Jaden calling him Papa instead of the usual Uncle Pedro. A week later, Anna was discharged and Pedro drove her home. He insisted she rest for a few days before returning to work. During this quiet recovery time, Anna reflected on her relationship with Pedro. She was convinced he truly loved both her and Jaden. She could no longer deny that she had fallen in love with him as well. It was time to move forward with her life. Even Jaden had formed a bond with Pedro, who had proven himself to be the father figure her son needed. When she returned to work, Anna visited Pedro's office to thank him for his kindness during her time of need. Then, gathering her courage, she told him she loved him and wanted to deepen their relationship. Pedro was overjoyed. He pulled her into a warm embrace and kissed her tenderly. As their relationship became known among their colleagues, it earned jealousy from some and admiration from others. But Anna never let others' opinions affect her. She maintained her professionalism and continued to be the cheerful, efficient employee everyone knew, and Pedro's love for her only grew stronger. 2 years later, Pedro decided it was time to make their relationship permanent. On Anna's birthday, she arrived at work to find the office entrance decorated with balloons and flowers. As she stepped inside, her colleagues shouted, "Happy birthday!" She laughed in delight, fighting back tears of joy at the beautiful surprise. As she thanked everyone for their efforts, she searched the crowd for Pedro, but couldn't find him. "Happy birthday," came his calm voice from behind her. Anna turned to see Pedro standing there, with a wide smile, holding a cake. She covered her mouth with both hands as tears of happiness began to flow. His smile widened as he urged her to come closer for a side hug, careful of the cake he was holding. She whispered her thanks, and he kissed her lightly. When it was time to cut the cake, Anna felt the knife hit something hard inside. Curious, she cut the cake open and found a golden ring. When she picked it up and turned around, Pedro was down on one knee. She gasped in shock. "I love you, Anna, and I can't imagine life without you," he said tenderly. "I also want to be a father to Jaden. Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down Anna's face as she nodded. Pedro took the ring from her hand and slid it onto her finger. He stood and kissed her while their colleagues applauded, many wiping away tears of their own. 3 months later, they were married. As the years passed, the couple raised Jaden to be a responsible young man. They ensured he had the best of everything: education, opportunities, and unconditional love. Jaden made them proud with his exceptional intelligence and character. He graduated high school with honors, attended college, and earned a degree in computer science. Upon graduation, he was immediately hired by a prestigious tech company. His employment package included a house and a car with a chauffeur. His parents, especially Anna, couldn't have been prouder. Everything was perfect for their family until someone from their past unexpectedly reappeared in their lives. The family was hosting a small outdoor gathering to celebrate Jaden's birthday when a disheveled stranger approached. The man looked shabby and rough, with a noticeable odor about him. Jaden felt sympathy for the apparently homeless man and was about to offer him a drink when Anna stopped him. "That's the man who abandoned you," she said coldly. Hearing those words, Jaden flew into a rage and ordered Jeff to leave immediately. Shamefully, Jeff fell to his knees, begging for a chance to speak. Through tears, he revealed that his mother had contacted him about 10 years earlier with a shocking confession. His biological father was not the man who had raised him, but someone his mother had an affair with shortly after her marriage. "If you knew 10 years ago, why come back now? What took you so long?" Jaden demanded. Jeff had no satisfactory answer. After abandoning Anna, he had embraced a life without responsibilities, partying, dating numerous women, and spending extravagantly. Eventually, he settled down with a much younger woman, but that marked the beginning of his downfall. She had never truly loved him and was only interested in his money. Distracted by his marital problems, Jeff's work performance suffered, and he lost his job. Just when he thought things couldn't get worse, his young partner emptied their home and his bank accounts while he was out drinking to escape their troubled relationship. Overwhelmed by shock, Jeff suffered a stroke, Fortunately, a neighbor found him and called an ambulance. After his recovery, Jeff realized he needed to find his original family. His experience had shown him how cruelly he had treated Anna and his son. Though he knew Anna had remarried, he foolishly believed he might have a chance to reconnect. After all, she had once loved him deeply. How wrong he was. Anna informed him coldly that he had no place in their lives and that she had legally revoked his parental rights years ago. Together, mother and son ordered him to leave and never return. Jeff walked away in shame, eventually ending up in a nursing home, wishing he could turn back time and make different choices. What do you think about what eventually happened to Jeff? Was it justice, or did he deserve forgiveness? Share your thoughts in the comments section.